Welcome, everyone. I am Dr. Dream, and you are here for another exciting broadcast of the It's All Good Circle. And we've got our extended family and friends here with us this evening, which is fabulous. Let's see. This particular episode, this particular offering this evening is near and dear to my heart, and so I'm super excited to get to it. And we're all going to be invited to talk and to share. The topic as it is, yes, I'm just scrambling around. I'm maybe not as prepared as I could have been this evening. So I don't want to misspeak the topic. The topic is modalities that awaken the body's natural power. And I just think this is a super wonderful, fantabulous topic for all of us. And because that's what we're trying to do. But I don't want to jump ahead too much right now into the topic. I want to share a couple of things first. Let's see. I'm in Kansas. My daughter turned 25 on Saturday, and it's hard to believe I have a 25-year-old daughter because most days I don't feel like older than 27, maybe 29. So it's an interesting, energetic for me. But I was talking to some people the other night at her birthday party and said, no one really makes you feel your age like your children do, because, all of a sudden they're not like these 2-3-year-olds anymore. They're like grown-up people with their own lives and everything. And you all know I had back-to-back strokes in 2020. We never know how close we are to, leaving here and going someplace else. I tend to not think that I was that close, but it does get you focused on your mortality. And one of the things that hit a spot for me during all of that was, will I, like when I first had the strokes, will I see my daughter again? And she was not she didn't have any children at that time. Am I going to be able to meet my grandchildren one day or something? And so as soon as I healed after 5 weeks with Dr. Sandra and the EESystem, we made our way to Kansas, because thoughts of my daughter really got me through all of this. And it's, I guess I'm taking this to the place of, I am incredibly blessed to have a grandson. My grandson is 20 months, maybe something like that, 20, 19, 18 months, somewhere in there. He's amazing. My daughter is amazing. We all have a great relationship. We have strived to be that way. At the party the other night, Maya's mother was there, and her boyfriend, and we all hang out together and express love and gratitude. And so that's part of my It's All Good world, is the blessings in my life. And since you guys are here with me every week, felt like a good opportunity to just share some of that and have it witnessed. Yes. So big news. We're here till Friday, and then Friday we go down to the EESystem Center that we are involved in Whitewater, Kansas. And we're not staying for a long time, but we're staying for 4 nights, and we get Terry and Jane put a full hookup right next to their building. So we're all set, and we spend a lot of time in the EESystem. I've been missing it. I've been missing Terry and Jane also. and they're regulars on this call. It's going to be particularly nice to get down there. Normally we're touring, and so we're always in the EESystem energy because we're going to all these different centers, like Jennifer's center we've been to, and all these other ones, and doing events, and sometimes it was like 4 centers in a week. And then in March we stopped our tour so we could work on our projects and everything, and then we're traveling, so we're not at home with our cube. And I miss the EESystem energetics so very much. It's really, so I'm excited to get back. And that's the thing. Now, that was my segue. This is good. That's the thing about tonight's topic, which is, he says, going back to where he had that page. Modalities that awaken the body's natural power. And, when I say that, the very first thing on my list would be the EESystem, because even in the description of what it does, it energizes and recharges our cells to be at their peak level so our bodies can do what our bodies are meant to do naturally, that is heal themselves. And I thought, wow, how timely is this topic for me? Because now, like so many other people in the world, I don't have an EESystem around me. I don't have the ability just to pop into an EESystem right now. And so I'm very much relying on other tools and modalities, and that's what tonight's all about. And it's not a presentation as much as it is all of us sharing what the tools and modalities are. I'm going to share a quick story here, and then I'm going to turn it over to Phil and Destiny, and then we're going to open it up to everyone. But in the last week, I found out that I've got some major dental stuff going on, like really major dental stuff. And the dentist here, I went on last Wednesday, and they said, okay, based on everything, we're making an opening for you tomorrow morning at 7:30. You have to get this done. And I was like, whoa, wait a sec. I wasn't planning on that. I was really just coming in for you to tell me that everything was going to be okay, and I could wait till I get back to, a dentist in Idaho where I found a new dentist for myself there. And they were like, we can't tell you that that's going to work out for you. And so I got real nervous, and then it got weird because the teeth had not been bothering me. And then sure enough, I'll be darned, that night, pain. Wednesday night last week, incredible pain. And it was after I had already decided, no, I'm going to be able to make it to Idaho to my dentist a month from now. And the pain was unbearable. I'm taking baby aspirin. I'm doing arnica tablets. I'm breathing oils. I'm just like, oh, something's got to stop this pain. And then I remember one of the tools that I have is called the Wave Watch. Wearing it right here. Actually, it's so funny because I got a watch on each wrist. Crazy. So I've got my Wave Watch, and I thought, oh, there, Phil has his also, and next week Susie's going to have hers. We're all getting on the Wave Watch bandwagon. But I immediately went to see what programs were in the Wave Watch, and it's a frequency watch, and there is a speaker right here on the bottom of the watch, the part that touches your skin. And there are over 1,000 frequencies. Now, Vienna is going to be able to give us some more of the technical aspects of this because she works for the Wave Watch company. I didn't hear about it from her. I already knew about it and had already gotten version 1 of it that my daughter then took when she was had my grandson. It was helping her with postpartum depression and all this. And every time I talked to her, I would say to her, hey, sweetie, how's the Wave Watch? Thinking that she would say to me, oh, I don't use it. And I could say, great, send it back to me, which every time I talked to her, she said, oh, I love it. I'm using it all the time. And so then I thought, okay, I've got to get one, another one for me. So anyway, back to the story. Terrible pain in my teeth. I'm at my wit's end. You know that like dental pain affects you in a way that like almost no other pain really does. It's very like there. And so there's a program of frequencies in here on dental and gums. And I ran the frequencies, put it on my wrist, and I kid you not, within no time at all, my pain went away. Now I've been playing with the frequencies and the wave watch, and I'm quite fond of it, but I never had a story about it. Okay, because I've got all these, you're going to see all these different tools and modalities that I use, and basically I don't even know what's actually working, but together they all seem to, create this balanced Dr. Dream that you all are seeing right now. And so I did a little test and I took the wave watch off and the pain came back. And I put it back on and the pain went away. And so basically now I've been wearing the wave watch 24/7 since last week. No pain. I'm eating. I'm doing all the stuff, using those teeth, giving them, like pressure and all this. And the wave watch is just fabulous. So when we were talking about it, I thought, oh, how perfect. Here we are, modalities that help the body heal and everything. And I don't know if it's actually healing anything, but it's taking that pain away. So that was my immediate story. I have some other little stories that I'm going to share in a little bit. But Phil, when I asked you and Destiny last week, hey, what are we going to do as a topic? You came up with this topic. So I know I did the soft intro into it, but I'd like you to kind of take over from here and say, like why this is important to you, where it came from in your mind and what you want to share with us. Then we'll jump to Destiny and then we'll all sort of round robin chime in. Oh, you know what? Oh, I am recording. Okay, excellent.
Okay, I had to unmute myself. So I came up with the topic because it kind of fell in line with the first thing that I want to talk about is, so when I talk to people about, what are we doing? It's not my goal to live forever. It's my goal to live forever well. And as long as I'm on this planet in this body, I want to be as well as possible. And I always joked when I was an avid golfer that I want to, finally sink that 30-foot putt and fall over and they can carry me off the green. And because that'd be a joyous moment. But that being said, so, it's sort of like, okay, so how do we define where we're going? How do we define this whole thing? What are we trying to do? And then what are all these different things that we can use to stay in our good senses within our realm of who we are and what we're doing? And I totally share this with everybody that I'm in touch with about any of this, is that if we don't take care of ourselves, we cannot help others. And so if we're not well, we can't help others. So the main thing is for anybody is to take care of yourself. And if you take care of yourself, then you can go on and share that with others. And so, it's sort of like, okay, so what are all these things that we're doing that we can share with people to take care of ourselves? And we all know that all of us have come to know many modalities because they show up. And the more modalities we are using, the more modalities show up. And that's totally cool. We have to be discerning because we can't do everything. One of the things that I was introduced to, and I'm not actually going to even talk about the person that did it, but I was introduced to BrainTap. And I went to Dallas, and that's where I actually met in person Dr. Dream. and we had a great time there. And Sean Bean is she's sort of the personal contact for people like myself that have this modality and use it in my center and actually sell them. Yes, perfect. And everybody in my family now, because if most people that know me know that I have a village at my home because my son-in-law is a locked-in quadriplegic. Clayton is also doing BrainTap. My daughter Lisa with cerebral palsy is doing BrainTap. My wife is doing BrainTap. My daughter Jessica is doing BrainTap. Clayton's mother is doing BrainTap. We're all in this together, and everybody that comes into my center puts on BrainTap because they love it. And so I'm sharing that tonight because it's something that we've found. There's like about over 2,000 different programs in BrainTap, and it's all about positive reinforcement. There's programs with just sound. There's programs with Patrick Porter talking. Everybody jokes about, everybody's sleeping with Patrick Porter because you put on the headset and you go to sleep and he's talking about all kinds of different things. And so it's really, we've found it to be a tremendous asset to ourselves. And that's the first thing that I look at. And I think everybody here does. When we find a new modality, we try it ourselves. We test everything. We see how it works for us. And then when it works for us, we share it with others, whether it be through nutrition or all these different things that we do. It's just a really cool thing. And I think, and they're coming out with programs now. They actually partnered with a gentleman, and I can't think of his name. I'm going to screw that up, but he was a drug addict, alcoholic, and he created a program to help people recover. And now he's partnered with BrainTap in a recovery program. And that's huge because we know the issue with that. And so not only with BrainTap can we help people that come into our centers, they can put the headset on, they can listen to it while they sit in the energy room. They're getting dual modalities and sometimes, triple modalities if we're utilizing some other things. But yeah, we've become a fan of it and it works for us and everybody that comes in that tries it loves it. Go ahead, Destiny.
So I actually have a fun story about that. I was playing around with BrainTap earlier this year, and I don't have the headset or anything. I would just put in headphones and listen to it.
Yep.
And I did quite a few of their different programs. It was really wonderful. But I did a 7-day Attract Your Soulmate program earlier this spring and just happened to find my soulmate in July this year. So I think there was a whole lot of things going on, but you can't really dismiss that as a coincidence.
Yeah, no, it's totally cool. There's a program that I love to listen to, and it's about looking from the viewpoint of an eagle, and it takes you through the flight, and so you find yourself after you listen to this, and it's about a 22 minute program. After you listen to this, you come out into the world and you're actually looking at things from a different perspective. It gives you different ways to look at life and view things. And so, yeah, there's, like I say, about 2,000. I haven't come close to listening to them all. But yeah, it's something that we found that works and go ahead, Dr. Dream.
So here's something I want to bring up. I've had this BrainTap for a year and a half, maybe longer. And it has, for the most part, sat there. I talked myself into the fact I don't have time just to sit there and not do anything, so to speak, but to experience this. So that's one of the things. Like, you know, it's one thing to have the tool, but it's definitely not going to work if you don't use it. So right here and now, Phil, I'm going to ask you if you will be my BrainTap mentor and assist me in staying on top of it. We can connect a couple times, every other day or something like that. I really want some guidance with it and everything. I don't have a story I can share about the BrainTap. I've used it. It's cool. It lights up. It's got, the sounds are great and everything, but I don't have a specific story like I do the Wave Watch or some of these other tools.
Right. And I certainly would do that. And anybody else that wants to know more about it, they can contact me personally. But that being said, there are so many different facets to it. And some people will say, oh, well, it's, like brainwashing or whatever. And I'm like, okay, whatever. But I've listened to so many different programs, and so does, we've got several BrainTap headsets here in our home because we have a village. And, but I listen to it morning and night most of the time. Once in a while I'll miss, but it just becomes sort of a habit thing for me to wake up. But I get up between 4:30 and 5:30 in the morning. And the first thing I do is I put on the headset. And then when I'm done, I hand it to my wife. She puts on the headset. We share normally the same program in the morning. I'll just pick out a program and we'll listen to it. And I haven't really, no, I'm going to take that back. I was going to say I hadn't really found a program that I didn't like, but there was one where it sounded like there was a Cirque du Soleil show called Ka. Well, many years ago, I took a bunch of people to that show, and it's like, dum, 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 dum. I fell asleep. It's a $300 ticket, and I'm sleeping through the show. Well, BrainTap has a program similar to that, and I'm like, I can't listen to that. But anyhow, a lot of really good stuff. I want to, move it on to other people so that we can share a lot of other modalities. But I wanted to put that out there because, it's one of our favorites.
Now, thank you, Phil. I appreciate that. I love hearing that. Destiny, you had an immediate different take. My thing and Phil's thing was like, oh, here's this physical technology, the this, the that, the other. And when I said to you earlier, I said, hey, Destiny, what's your take on all this and where are you going? I'd like you to share that with us now.
So I wanted to talk about enhancing your body's natural ability to heal itself by using your most powerful tool, which is your digestion. There's so much health information out there that it's so hard to pick through all of it. And we're all so unique that you really have to tailor what you eat to what you need specifically. But the most important thing with your digestion is to live a lifestyle and to eat in a way that makes your digestion powerful. I've been studying Ayurveda for a couple of years on my own, and they talk about your digestion as the most important tool for healing. And there are many things. Well, there's actually a few simple things that you can do to make your digestion more powerful and to work properly. And the first one that they talk about, the most highly important in Ayurveda, is not to overeat. So when your food leaves your stomach, it goes to your duodenum. That's the first place in your body where it goes. And the duodenum is smaller than the stomach. And once the duodenum fills up, then the food that doesn't go in there sits in your stomach at 98 degrees and begins to go bad. And so a healthy digestive system can handle that and break it down and get rid of the toxic food in your body. But when you overeat all the time, your digestive system begins to lose intelligence because it's constantly getting all of this bad food. And it also has to do with eating before bed as well. So when you eat within 2 or 3 hours of bedtime, you're going to bed with food still in your body. And when you go to bed at night, your digestion has a very powerful job of restoring your body and getting rid of old cells and all kinds of things that digestion is not supposed to be the place. Like digesting food is not the job of your digestion when you're sleeping. So when you go to bed with food in your body, then not only is the food not being digested properly, but the digestion isn't able to do its other functions, and you're not going to rest well, and you're not going to heal while you're sleeping like you're supposed to. So those are two of the biggest rules for having a healthy digestive system, is to learn what is the right portion for you. And it's going to vary depending on how active you are, even in just that day. But you can tell if you start playing with it, you'll find that a lot of times it's actually going to be less than you think what you actually need. But you'll feel it.
Uh-oh.
You stop eating, you just have this like, wow, that was I think the portion that really makes talk about a lot is that a lot of different things in our food all the time, mixing all these different weird things, especially when we have a buffet or a Thanksgiving or whatever we.
Whoop.
I think we lost Destiny.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. We'll give Destiny a chance to come back. I'm going to address another side of this, and that is not having to do with what we're putting into our bodies, but having to do with what we put into our mind. And I did a post today. It's an Abraham Hicks quote, and it says, it should only be talked about if the talking will make you feel better. It is of no value ever to activate and talk about something that doesn't feel good, because it reactivates it in your vibration. It makes it another point of your point of attraction, so you're less clear. And this really hit home. And for those of us in the EESystem community, and some of the things that we're dealing with right now, it is a very important point. There are things that at this point, and you all know I picked up the gauntlet for a while, I am just over talking about, I'm over paying attention to it. And because all it does is bring me back into that energetic, and that energetic is the lowest energetic of what my world is about, and I choose not to go there. And I can be much more powerful for myself and for other people in my community, in and out of the system community, by holding a very high frequency. And so I really like that. If it doesn't feel good when you talk about it, just not to talk about it. Destiny, now we lost you there, and everything sort of went sideways, so I picked up the slack. Is there anything you want to do, and possibly maybe turn your video off so you get the most out of your bandwidth?
Yeah, I can do that. So I just had to finish that point. You guys heard me talking about
We're not hearing, we didn't even hear what we were supposed to have heard you talking about just now. So I think you're a little on the challenge
Okay.
side with the connection.
Okay.
There you are, if you want to take a stab at it one more time.
So just the basic point that I was trying to get to is that keeping it simple in your meals really helps your digestion as well. Are you hearing me now?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And then I just had one more point, and that's that when we feed ourselves, we are putting energy into our body that creates the very body that we're walking around in. So blessing your food and taking your time with it in a conscious manner, consciously taking in what you're eating is almost just as important, maybe even more important. In Ayurveda, it says it's more important to be conscious with your food and to bless it before you eat it and to bless yourself so that you have a beautiful joining. And I know that you and Stephanie, Dr. Dream, have been blessing your food for many years. Perhaps you'd like to tell us about how you bless your food.
Yeah, I started this some years ago, and then when Stephanie and I got together, she's like, "What are you doing?" Because something would come to the table or before I ate any meal, and I would use the palm chakras to bless the food. And for us, I say the same thing. For me, Stephanie's a little different. Everyone's a little different. But I was taught something years and years ago that I use for blessing my food, my experiences, and everything. So if I have something in front of me, I say, I invoke the light of the divine within. I am a clear and open channel. Light is my guide. I'm blessing this food for my highest and best and all the people that allowed this to come to me. And so it is, something along those lines. And so I like saying basically the same thing every time because it's then very focused. It's not off the cuff. I don't feel like I'm leaving anything out. And, people look at us weird in restaurants and things like that. And we don't care. I really don't care what people think about anything anymore. And so, yep, I'm blessing my food, people. Get used to it. Maybe you want to bless your food. And the other thing is, you don't know it's like one thing if Stephanie makes a meal for us here at home, I know the energy that's being put into the food. But if we go out to XYZ restaurant, I have no idea what that cook's life is about. Did they have an argument with their wife before they came to work? Is their energy clear? Is everything organic? Has everything been cleaned? And things like that. And so it's to me, it's just bringing the vibration of the entire experience up to a level that, as I say, serves my highest and best and the highest and best of everyone that's been involved in it. Now, before we jump real quick away from me and to other people to share their things, I'm going to do a really quick, I'm going to take my background away. You guys will see our home again here. And I'm just going to show you some of the other tools. This is a T1. It is from a company called Blue Shield. It is a scalar energetic device that fits in this little leather pouch and goes in the pocket of my holster that I always wear. And I only turn it on when I'm going to be in places that I'm feeling I'm a little frequency sensitive. Maybe we're sitting right near a router or something like that, and I want to have it a little bit more. There's a company called, there's a device, this right here, and it's called Halo Pulsar. And it's got a little thing here where you can set the frequencies. I've got it set on the Schumann resonance. And this connects to my holster, one of the to some tensor rings on my holster, and it's on all the time. They also have a device that I talked about It's called the Halo Net. The first one that I got, I gave to somebody who is dealing with alcohol addiction. They weren't using it and they've slid back into alcohol addiction, but they still have it. You turn it on and connect these clips to your ears, and there is a electric sort of frequency, and it's supposed to help with addiction of any kind. I ordered another one because they were back on sale 20% off, and I ordered another one. But again, I don't have a specific story about this from myself or anybody else. But I'm going to be working on it for just certain things that I'm looking to curtail in my life, more having to do with what Destiny talked about as far as food and things like that. I've got my Organite piece that I had made. And like so many of the tensoring tools, this was made by a company in Canada, a gentleman in Canada. But like this tensoring tool from Brian Besco, this is a master wand. I am wearing a silver infinity halo, and these tools, also like the Organite, work based on your intention. And so when I feel the Organite in my pocket, or I had a experience with some sacred medicine not so long ago, and I took the Organite tool out and had it and was just holding it as I was having a very intense experience, and it was keeping me, I don't know, but it was what I wanted to do. It was the first time I had ever taken it out and like kind of played with it. I now take it out quite a bit. The wand I use, and again, it's based on intention. It's based on what you're asking for and what you're opened up to. They all have different energetics. I've shown you my different tools that are hanging in the space, and there's crystals and all sorts of things. I haven't even talked about the healing bowls. Okay, those are tools that bring you into a sense of balance, whether it's your chakras or just your general energetic field or your brain waves. And I know that Susie's going to pick up and talk about some of this. We had Inanna Ray on. This is one of the tools from her. It's a copper shot glass with the frequency of 11,000 on the Hawkins scale. Most people think the Hawkins scale stops at 1,000. I pour a glass of water in it, or a glass of water. That's wild. It just holds a whole glass of water. No, I pour an ounce of water into it and then drink it. After 20 minutes, and it's completely vibed up. And then Susie Casaro and I talk probably every other day, and we talk about what tools are working for us and this and that. And she was telling me about, I'm just trying to get this, see it. Oh, drop my earpiece. This is called a Vibe. It's a PEMF energetic. And when Susie was talking to me about it, I was like, wow, that really sounds amazing. So I just got it. Actually, this is the first time I've been wearing it. I'm running one of the brainwave frequencies. Susie's going to help kind of mentor me and train me on this, so I can use it at its highest and best. It can also be put on an animal. So, Phil, this could be a good thing for your dog if we think about it. We have a story about it. Yeah. And yeah, so I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm going to let everybody else just sort of chime in. Also, of course, as I already talked about, the Wave Watch, and Vienna will have, she's really our resident expert on that. But before we move to Vienna, Susie, do you want to talk about first the Vibe and then any of the other tools? I mean, we look at your background there, and you're just full of tools and everything. I've been to your house, and it was literally like walking into an energetic sanctuary. So I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay, so if we're going to talk about the Rizona Health vibe, I've been working with it. It has 5 other brain protocols. I just resent you that file, and basically you would be using 2 frequencies back to back. It's like you'll use one and then you'll use another one. And I've been using the one for the vagus nerve and then sleep. My sleep has been for years fakaka, and so I haven't contributed to helping myself very much in that way. I just, so now I'm making a concerted effort to meet my devices halfway, that, so that I can really allow them to see if they're going to work. And what I've realized just in a couple of days, that my nervous system, you just kind of get used to stuff, and then you carry it, and then it's normal. And until it's not. I just did a writing on that. And what I found out is that my nervous system is a lot more sensitive than I ever thought. And I've just, collected and then just made it normal, because that's what we do. We just take all this stuff on. We're pretty resilient that way, and till we aren't. So just in a few days, it's like I've noticed, because my REM and my deep sleep have been like 2% deep and 10% REM, and then 5 hours sleep. So I haven't been sleeping very much for a really long time. And so just in a few days, I'm up to 26% REM and 13% deep, which is huge, because apparently as you get older, when you're younger, you naturally will get more deep sleep, but then you don't, it's like deep sleep will be 2 hours for people that are younger and maybe an hour for older people. So this is what I'm playing with this, and I'm liking it. I use like I said, I get into bed and I'm maybe watching a movie or something, and I'll put on they're about a half hour long. I'll put on the vagus nerve, and then the sleep one, and then there's another one, a brain wave for sleep, which is you going from the alpha, or from theta, delta for a half hour, and then you go to theta for a half an hour. And then when I get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, that's usually where I get caught in, wanting to go do stuff. So I just hit that button again, and I slept 8 hours last night. That's like amazing. And so, okay, so that's this. The other thing I do is I have a vibration plate with a 25-minute detox for your lymph system, which is amazing. It's like I'm standing on it. It's each little section is 3 minutes. I stand on it. I sit on a cushion, put my calves on it, flip over, put my thighs on it, stand on it for a couple more rounds, and it really moves the lymph, because that's one of the systems that we have that doesn't move on its own. We have to go out of our way with a rebounder or dry brushing or something, because it gets sluggish pretty easily for us anymore these days. And so that is an amazing piece of equipment that I use every morning. And I was told that if you take a short walk or whatever after you eat, which, thank you, Destiny, I overeat at a meal, and so I could clean up a little bit on that in that arena. But then I get on there so that I'm not spiking anything in my system. And so I just, I get on that for the 25 minutes. Then I have a high intensity PEMF machine, or mats, and it's actually 2 mats that you sandwich yourself between, and that's wonderful. Each program is 12 minutes, and it's amazing. But now that I've got this little one, I've been messing around with that. Each of the 4 corners of my house, I have tachyon everywhere, and that's scalar. And so in each of the corners, in all the rooms, it all converges into the living room. And then under my massage table where I have sessions, I have all kinds of tachyon under there. Um, it's amazing. And so then and then there's a BioMat, so people are really, and it's an articulating massage table, so I make people really comfortable. And so I kind of run them from one thing to another depending on how much time they have. It takes about 2 hours. Once they get to the massage table, then I have all the crystal bowls and the gongs, and then of course here's my what do you call it? BCX. Uh, Help me out here. I'm looking for a word.
The Rife device.
Yeah, thank you. The Rife device. And so when I'm writing or sitting at my desk, usually I'll put a few frequencies on there. And again, I don't know which of these things is working, but I know that I miss them if I don't do them. And in fact, I've got my cube. I have a mirror that's positioned right by my spare bedroom, and so that I can see it when I'm laying in my bed. I can see it out my door of my bedroom, and I miss it if that mirror is not there, because I'm getting the energetics from the mirror too. So I notice them. I notice these things if I don't have them. It's like if I take the mirror, because I can't get in the room unless I move the mirror. So if I go in there, I have to put that mirror back. So I do that. And then, yeah.
And you've got tensor ring tools all around?
Oh yeah, I have tensor ring tools, and I can't reach the one. I have this great big huge copper basket. I'm not real sure exactly what the name of it is. And then I've got a big huge crystal in it, and then tensor wands coming down, and inside a generator I'll have another piece of Lemurian, and then it's right in the center. It's centered over my my bowl that you step into, my standing bowl, which has got a tensor ring around it, and I have all these rocks and stones and crystals all around the base of this. And so the first thing I'll do is I'll put somebody in the bowl and go through a meditation with them to clear the energy. And then that sets them up for the rest of, then we find an intention and we go through the rest. And so I don't have many people coming through here, so I'm doing quite a few of these things on my own, and I miss them if I don't do them. And so I've really found sort of a rhythm of doing 2 or 3 of these things for sure every day. Yeah.
I love it. And you and I do speak quite a bit, and you have shared many stories of people that aren't clients that come over and they get to have the experience, or they're like just sort of spun out in their reality, in their world, and you have them stand in the bowl, and it immediately brings them back to a more comfortable baseline and everything. Stephanie and I got very, I don't want to say envious, but like, I mean, we're on the road. We have all these tools. We have the vibration plate. We have the cube. We have this. We have that. The Rife machine, the plasma tubes, all of it. And we just don't have it all spread out yet. And it's one of the reasons I'm really looking forward to getting back to Idaho and spending a few months and being able to have all the tools and modalities out. Now, Vienna, do you want to talk a little bit about the Wave Watch and some of the things that you do? There's other modalities that you work with also that I've been very impressed by.
Sure, I'd be glad to. Let me get myself located. There's one you don't know about. I just finished fixing a toilet while we were working. We'll work for food. Anyway, got that done. Ready to talk about healing tools, not just cleansing tools. Wave Watch is based on Rife and Hulda Clark frequencies, and Linda Bamber had an acoustical frequency program on a computer. She's a clinical thermographer and naturopathic doctor, and does biomeridian scans historically, but now she's focused on Wave Watch. And she said, my goal is to get these acoustical frequencies. So you don't need the plates and the expensive machine or whatever. Those are, nobody's knocking that. That's an awesome setup. And lay people just aren't getting there. So she said, I want it to be a wearable device. So she had been dreaming of that for about 10 years. And in about 2019, I had been working some in her office and been away for a bit and had come back in. And she said, I think it's time. I've found a device that I think we can fit to make work with this. And she was just thrilled. And it took probably a year to actually get it into beta test form. And now we've done the 1.0 square version, which had frequencies listed individually. And then we were always really careful with our languaging not to talk about curing and all those words that are off limits, and healing. And somehow, just as our profile rose, FDA came and said, okay, let's establish, are you a medical device or a wellness device? And Linda said, tell us your definition. And so they said, well, if you're a medical device, you have studies to prove it. And if you're a wellness device, you don't need studies, and you don't make any claims, and you don't use any medical words, like things like migraine and diabetes and pain are completely off the table. None of those doctor words, okay? Like pain. And so she had to go through and for hundreds of categories come up with non-offensive words to the FDA. And the beautiful part of it was that it made it simpler to use. So there are people that have their 1.0 that are just stuck on it, and there are times I only want my 1.0. And then there are times that I go, yeah, I think I'd like a little click and play action. And then I use my 2.0. But the beauty is it was 1,100 frequencies, or it was over 1,000, I think is how it was said. And now it's over 1,100. She was able to put in an extra 100 frequencies, and a lot of those are cancer related. And now that she didn't have to fly under any radar because she wasn't using those words, she put in liver cancer frequencies in the liver support, category. So, and lung and just all the things. So, always there's pluses and what we might think of as minuses anytime there has to be change. And we're grateful that the company has been able to navigate that change. It was pretty huge. And there've been some just quirks with technology. My phone died earlier, so just tech quirks. And we are thrilled that it's traveling down the road and making a difference for things like Dr. Dream's dental pain, and at one point my hemorrhoids, and just on and on. There are lots of people with pain that say, wow, I'm virtually off my pain medicine now. And Dr. Dream, just for reference, one woman, when it very first came out around COVID time, had gone to the dentist, gotten cavities drilled, and he had to rush out for a family emergency before he could fill them. And then the next week, everything shut down. He closed his office for months, many weeks at least. And then when she came back in, so she was like, oh my gosh, Libby is in the Springfield office for Wave Watch and thermography. And she was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And she says, get over here. I've got something new. Wave Watch, put this on. And she used it and used it and used it on the dental. You just run the whole folder because you can't hurt yourself with acoustical frequencies. And when she went back into the dentist, he said, I could have sworn I drilled holes in your teeth. And they had filled back in. So never underestimate the power of a good frequency.
No, I love that. Also, just to your point, I had the first version And then my daughter has that, and I got version 2. I like version 2 better because the speaker is on the bottom. The first version, the speaker was on the side, and Stephanie, who's very sensitive to sound, could always hear it and didn't like me wearing the wave watch around her. And now we were just talking about it this morning. You know, I wear it to bed because I don't want the pain to kick up while I'm sleeping and anything. Neither one of us hears it. I sleep, you know, with my hand near my head and everything. And so version 2 for me is just spot on, and I absolutely love it. And I appreciate all of your assistance in everything regarding that. Made a huge difference. And Susie will have hers. I'm going to send it out priority tomorrow. And so she'll, by the next It's All Good circle, she will have been using it a few days. And so I'm excited to hear about that.
Well, you'll have to decide whether or not you want to answer the post office question or the UPS question, whether there's a lithium battery in this package that you're sending. And if you decide to say yes, they will not let you send it priority. You will have to send it ground advantage. Because batteries
Oh, whoops. I didn't hear that. Something with my ear things. Anyway, we'll just move right on. It's coming priority. I don't know what all that was about. Anyway. So
in a nutshell, other little things are emotion code, body code, another little adjunct to that, but toolkit that just uses muscle checking and goes through charts and lists and such as that, and got some training and some other things, but those are the main ones I can think of right now. Oh, Healy. I've got a Healy I was using today. Appreciate that. And just started using AO scan and really appreciate the detail on that. You know, 20 some odd page report of every bone and muscle, ligament, nerve, blood vessel, skin, cells, mitochondria. It's just like mind blowing. So that's my new fun toy. And I am complete.
Interesting. It's fun to talk about all this. Also, as a side note, I did have Vienna on the It's All Good show, recorded live at the EESystem Center in Whitewater, Kansas. And it was an hour and a half of not just fabulous high vibe information, but I'm still hoping that Vienna and I take our comedy show out on the road and come to a comedy store or a comedy club near you in your town. Please look for us.
We had a blast.
Now, Jen Urban, you've been throwing yourself into some new areas of learning and emphasis. You've been getting some great results. You want to share with us some of the things that you've been doing in addition to being an EESystem Center owner?
Sure. So yeah, I've been in the natural healing realm for about 38 years. So I started in Florida, working for a chiropractor and went through my chiropractics certification assistant. And I did all the exams, x-rays and that sort of thing. But that's where I started really learning about the body's innate ability to heal itself and how perfectly God made us and all of that. And I actually looked into massage or chiropractic school, but Spirit told me, no, that's not the plan for you. You're not going back to school for another 8 years to get a license to do that. So in hindsight, I'm glad because I understand it, I ended up moving back to Ohio and got my massage therapy license. And then just started learning what I could learn naturally as far as essential oils and diet and juice extracting and anything that could help the body assist to heal on a more natural level, the way God created it without the, other medical industrial complex as much as possible. So then I started getting into some frequency healing, probably about maybe 7 years or so ago, when I got certified in NES. That was the first thing I flew to Tampa for, which is a scanning system that, puts a whole scan out on your body, kind of like the AO, I'm sure. But then they would send the priorities. They would have this water that they would infuse with the balancing frequencies, and then ship them to the person, and then they would take the droppers of them. And that was good, but it was just a little too cumbersome, to have to wait for those to be shipped to them and stuff. But then, things happened in the realm, and everything kind of got switched around. And right after COVID is when I was introduced to the EESystem technology, which was before it kind of broke out on a bigger scale globally. And I knew right away there was something that said, this is what you're supposed to be doing. So I looked at all of the research, and I looked at all the testimonials, and I called the few that were around me, and I ended up driving 10 and a half hours to do my due diligence to check it out, which I already knew I was going to be doing it. I just had to go see, and that introduced me to this energy, which is amazing. And my center, I'm going to use this term improperly right now, so forgive me, Father. But the biggest modality for me with my ministry is the Holy Spirit. And the number one, the first part is helping people remember who we are, as a child of the Most High, our Creator, and how He, He said, "Those that believe will do all that I've done and greater." And that's just not a little sentence, it's huge, but we mostly have not been taught what that means. And so I do spend some time with people, grounding that in how much authority we have, that there's no man or woman on this earth that has any authority over you. You have a direct connection to source. And as long as you do, you've got it all, and you're way more powerful than you know. So we just need to start practicing that, because you can heal yourself. So that's where I start. And then I like to give them some examples on how to set their intentions and do a little meditation for those that maybe aren't used to that sort of thing. And mine is, the example I give is the way I do it and the way I see it, but I let people know, like, whatever resonates with you, this is how I do it. So I basically just say, look, we are the church, and our body's the temple that they've been trying to destroy. So we can cast anything out of this temple, just like Yahusha did. We have the authority. So learn how to speak life into everything. And so we talk a lot about language, what comes out of your mouth. Now, I never used to do this, but I stop people all the time. I'm like, okay, stop. Okay, let's rephrase that, because usually it's just maybe switching two words, position in the sentence, or just changing things slightly to where, like if it were coming from a DR, and they were giving you a diagnosis, and then you go home and you tell your spouse, well, I have this, you've just claimed it. And I know you all know how that works, right? So we just undo that and say, that's not my story. I don't consent. I'm casting this out. Whatever is in here causing this pain or causing this whatever, I don't consent. And in the name of the Most High, Yahushua HaMashiach, I cast you out and you must go now, So that's the start. And when I breathe in the Holy Spirit. And when I exhale, I exhale everything that is not of the Holy Spirit, or that is of darkness, or that is standing in my way of my divine purpose. So my goal is to help people take authority, because we need to take authority right now in all areas of our life, not just our health, but that's huge. Just like Phil said, I think you said, we got to take care of ourselves first. So we need to heal ourselves. We need to know that we can heal ourselves. And when we start doing that work, it's that ripple effect. And then they're going to start helping other people, and that's how it grows. So that's where I start. And then, I do have a couple of Dr. Dreams bowls. So we use these. My son in particular, he'll come out sometimes every night for a week, and he'll say, Mom, will you do the bowls on me? And I just lay it on his back and I gong it. This one is it's a D sharp, so that would be between the the sacrum and the solar plexus, I believe. Is that right, Dr. Dream?
Yep, absolutely.
So, but we will put it there on his back, and I'll hit it a few times and just let it resonate. And then I just slowly move it up his back and do it till we get to the neck. First time I did it, even just holding it above his neck, he's like cringing like this, like something was going on in there that needed to be cleared. But he swears by it. He says it, clears his skin up, and, he knows it's doing something. So that's something that we offer. And the next piece for me was after getting them into the system, to clear the stuck energy so that the body can actually heal the way God intended, because the body is more intelligent than our left brain that's always trying to figure everything out, right? Not that it's a bad thing to say, hey, I think I might need some magnesium or this, but sometimes I think we overthink, and we're so busy trying to fix it that the body isn't able. We got to get out of the way, So I try to quiet their mind, go in here and receive the healing. Just be in gratitude. Let your body do whatever it needs to do. You may be coming in with a sore shoulder. That is your priority, but your body may be working on this scar tissue down on your knee, to clear that first, or whatever your body needs. So be patient. And then I just wanted to go deeper with everything that we'd been learning about detox, parasites, and all this stuff that we're absorbing now more deeply and understanding. And so I spent about 4 months praying and researching. I knew I wanted a type of scanner that, I could do a basic scan for priorities on where to start. And I knew I wanted to find a good detox protocol for people to use that was easy, gentle, simple to use, and not too complex, you know what I mean, but would do what we needed to do. So after 4 months, God is so good, when you're intentional, he brings it. So he brought this to me all in one package. It's just a little scanner. This is my scanner here. And it does a scan that is 92 to 95% as accurate as a blood test. And it's scanning all your organs, all your systems. It does bone density and vitamins and minerals and hormones and all of this stuff. I think if you printed it out, it's about 125 pages. But it color codes things in priorities. So we don't really pay a lot of attention to the green and the blue. We pay attention to the yellow and the red. So I always tell people, look, obviously this is not a diagnosis of any way, shape, or form. And these are markers. And I know personally, for a fact, I say this, number one, because I work in the private domain and I can say whatever I want because I don't have any authority over me. And number two, because I've experienced it. But all of this can be cleared and reversed. So it's just a matter of removing the stuff in your body and then giving it super healthy herbs and superfoods. It works as a system. So we're working on systems. It's not like one supplement for this or one supplement for that. There are multiple nutrients in every product they have, and they're blended specifically. And the doctor that created them is in Mexico, and he's a naturopath, but for I think 20 years, I believe. he's been mixing these herbs and these remedies up and healing people of the C word. And so, people go there for those things. Just like they like to do the dental work and everything over there because it's just better. They can do things that we can't. So I've been using the scanner for 4 months or so now, and the products that are partnered with it. And my first scan, I had 37 priorities. So I had 33 yellow priorities, 4 red priorities. One of my reds was memory, which I wasn't surprised. I'll be 60 this month. So, I have my own goals, just for health. I don't have any major health issues. I just want to be in the best health I can be. And so my dad had early onset Alzheimer's and his mom had Parkinson's, which they're kind of related. And, his sister. And so my brother, sister, and I are all kind of like, okay, we got to keep an eye on this. So when it came up red, I wasn't shocked. But within 2 weeks of being on the products, it went from red to yellow. And at the end of a month, it was blue. And I can watch the numbers and it's going towards green. And so I had, after 2 weeks with 37 priorities, I dropped 12 off my scan. By the end of the first month, I dropped 20 off. And by the end of the second month, I dropped 25 priorities off my scan. I was down to 12. And I could see all the numbers were moving in the right direction. So that was encouraging. So not only was I feeling fabulous, like within the first week, I'm bending down, my kitchen, doing the lower cabinets and everything. I'm up and down. I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? I don't have any stiffness. I don't have any pain. I'm like, this is, brain fog was gone. I'm taking deep, full breaths, which I wasn't before. When you breathe shallow and you go to take a deep breath and it's like that yawn that gets stuck and you can't go all the way in. Now my breaths are super deep and full. And so to me, it was super encouraging because I felt better almost immediately, but I can see it on my scans. And so that's a really good biomarker for people too. And it's another process in helping them to take authority over their health. They're actually physically going to do something, by deciding to do one of the protocols and take the products and then come back and get rescanned. That's worked out really, really well for the center. I've shared it with a few center owners that are now using it because I think a lot of us were in the same kind of, what else do we need to add to help our members on their journey? The EE system is amazing, but we know that there are things that can help kick it a little faster and help them to detox. It has a detox tea for like the general gut detox. There's a kidney detox and there's a liver detox. And then there's a multitude of other products that for different organs and stuff in the body. So that's what I'm doing with that. And then the end goal with all of that is reverse aging. So we're aging backwards. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I love all of this, Jen, and I had to laugh a little bit when you said your 38 years of experience, because to me, and I've seen you in person, not just on Zoom calls, you don't look a day over 37. And so I was like, 38 years experience, you must have been getting some of that in the womb. So whatever you're doing, it's certainly working for you. I feel the same way about Phil. Phil, can I tell them your age?
Sure.
74 years old. I feel the same way about Susie Casaro. I'm 60
76.
and what are you, dear?
76.
76. I mean, these things are working. Now, we've got 10 minutes left, and I want to introduce Sylvie Lightfeather. And look at your background. I said it when you first came on. I'm like, oh my gosh, look at this. That is one heck of an energetic. So Sylvie, I'd love for you to talk to us about some of the things that you do. I know that you've got an energetic that you're introducing tomorrow. I know you did some yesterday, and I know you're doing great work out there.
Yeah. So just quick, my background, I'm certified coach, NLP, Wingwave. Wingwave have to do with, the music is like binaural beats. It's like the stone goes left, right, left, right. And in Wingwave, you just do it with your hands and you wave the hands. It has to do with the rapid eye movement, what we have in the night, and you can release a lot of this. And it's known as emotional coaching because you work with the emotions. But that's not all what I'm doing. I have even a shamanic background and had the pleasure to meet some really beautiful native souls and could even learn from them. I work also with the singing bowl I got at the Earthship conference where I met you. What was just a huge blessing. So what I'm doing right now is I do on a regular basis offering and open the space for really deep meditations. And when I say really deep, then it's really deep diving. These meditations are a combine of breath work. And if you ever heard about holotropic breath work, then we get closer to what I'm doing. It's like it starts with a slow, deep inhale and exhale, and then we move faster with the breath. What it brings an overflow of oxygen to your whole body. It can be that your body starts to twinkle, and it can even be that you experience cramps. The best thing to do is really to just breathe into the cramps. They will go away. What it does, it brings you even to points while I'm guiding you to the point that maybe you face your fears. You face the contract that you're in. You face your shadow. And I guide you to this point, and even with exhaling, we release all of this, what is not longer serving us. And it's a really deep process. And for me, it's something what is necessary to do every day, to meditate every day. What I'm even doing in this meditation is I'm guiding us as a circle to rise the frequency for the higher collective consciousness, to infuse the higher collective consciousness with the knowledge that everything exists already inside of us. Everything is already here. There is nothing what is missed. What is missed, we need to remember. We need to remember how divine and beautiful we are. And this is what I'm even doing with guiding us to infuse the collective consciousness with this information. Hey, everything is already there. There is no reason to fear for anything. We are living in a space of wonderful abundance. No matter where we are, we need to open our eyes. And this is something what I really love to do, what I've been called to do. In this meditation, they are never the same. It's every time different because the energies are changing as we are in the flow. And what is really beautiful is that at one point, I even use the water. So I ask everybody to have a glass of water close to them. Because as we know, since Masaru Emoto, he inspired me a lot, really a lot, that we can program the water. The water takes the memory really quick. So what I do when we vibrating in this circle, in this really high energy, we had released everything and we vibrating in infinity unconditional love, abundance, freedom, peace, love, and harmony, to bring this frequency into the water. And then drink a sip of this water or drink the whole glass if you feel it. And reprogramming in the same way while you're drinking the water and feeling it goes down, you reprogram your whole cells. With this reprogramming or recharge, I guide the circle to inform and reprogram the DNA. So it's a whole process, but this is the thing what I do on a regular basis in every meditation. And it feels inside of me already a huge shift from the beginning till now, because even the meditation was a part of evolution, and it unfolds more and more. And I know that I channel a lot of stuff. I never know what comes up. And it's the same when I do the healing sessions. I do healing sessions. It's a combine of massage, chiropractic, lymphatic system, energetic work. So I take out all the energies who are not supposed to be there. I use often even a pendulum. And I use essential oils. I use crystals. And the whole time I'm guided. And what is the beauty of it? It's in the beginning, I was like, I got some thoughts and I was like, oh my gosh, I should say this. And I was not sure. And then I was, okay, trust. So I trusted. And right now I'm really, really in trust. I'm not more questioning what I'm getting. But every time if I speak out, what I'm getting, it resonates. And it's such beautiful. And I use the singing bowl to integrate, that's the last thing what I'm doing, to integrate the new frequencies that this person is in. And it's such an amazing, amazing journey, because it's at the same time, I feel every time a part of me is healing too. It's not like the person in front of me is healing. And it's so beautiful, because this is how it works. And there is another thing what I'm doing and what I really love to do too is ancestral healing. Like ancestral healing, and I do this with the timeline. It's a format what is known in NLP, neuro-linguistic programmation. And I do this since the 7 generations. And what it is and what it means, it's you can't do all the timelines at the same time. We speak about 4 timelines. It starts with the female timeline. That means your mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, since the 7 generation. Then we come to your father, grandfather, since the 7 generation. Then from your mother, the father's side, since the 7 generation, and from your mother's side, right now I'm in a loop, sorry. Okay, I start again. The female side, your mother. The male side, your father, the male side. The female side, the father, and the male side, your father's line. So, and in this way, it's 4 different sessions. What I never look up in healing sessions and even in the ancestral healing, I never watch the time, because it takes the time it takes. And it can be that a session takes 4 hours. I never know. And it's really interesting because often I've been asked, can't you do this shorter? It's like, you know, frequencies and energies are not working in this way. And time doesn't exist if we do our work. Then we do our work, and it's all about body, mind, and soul to really integrate every single part of it. It's, I mean, when the shoulder hurts, it hurts for some reason. And it's like, maybe you carry too much stuff in your life around, and this is why your shoulder hurts. You need to look at those things. The body is telling a lot of stuff. And if we really trust and listen to our body, we will know where we are and where we're at and what we need to do. We all have this inside of us. We all have these gifts. Yeah, that's a peak of my work.
Sylvie, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for your passion, your energy. It is definitely felt. I want to thank everyone. It is that time, and I'm big on starting on time and ending on time. So we're going to go ahead and close out now. I think if other people have things to share, they can let me know, and maybe we'll do this again. I think it's so valuable and so important and so powerful for us to share the things that we're doing, the modalities, the focus of our minds, of our body, of our spirit, of what's working for each of us. You know, we say it all the time. We're all in this together, and that's what the It's All Good circle is truly about. And not a lot of people tonight, and I'm almost happy about that, because it gave us an opportunity to really get in there and share. And if we had a you know, twice or 3 times as many people, it would have been a lot more difficult to get some of the details from each of us on what's going on. I believe that people will find a lot of value in this when they re-listen to it. I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank you for sharing. I want to thank you for holding space. And most of all, I would like to just, again, let you know that I love each and every one of you, the role that you play in my life, in my experience, whatever it is, you make it all worthwhile for me. Thank you all very much. Have a wonderful week. We'll be back next Monday with another exciting program. Love you all so much. Good night.
Thank
Love
you.
you too. Love you
Take
all.
care. Love you.
Thank you. So much love.